So, Pro Football Focus went ahead and put out round 3 wide receiver landing spots for this upcoming draft. And taking a look at some of these options, I was like, okay, Johnny Wilson, I've heard of him before. Heard of pretty much all these guys, except for the guy we had, which was Tez Walker. And I'm like, Tez Walker? I know there's a Walker in this upcoming draft, but I don't remember Tez Walker. Like, is that a player I guess I missed? Well, no, it's because his technical name is not Tez Walker. It's just technically he goes by Tez Walker because the last 3 letters of his first name is Tez. He's Devontez Walker. So he is a wide receiver from North Carolina, the Tar Heels. And I don't know how I feel about this pick, I'll be honest with you. I don't think we're going to take a wide receiver really early. It's possible we do just because of the fact that we're, franchise tag T. Higgins. Chances are he's not going to be on the roster as of, the following year. So you want to get that kind of replacement going. But in my opinion, I think how the Bengals look at it as well, is that Yoshi is supposed to be the replacement for T. Higgins. And while, yes, you want to get other options in there as well, you still got Trent Irwin. You know he's going to be back for another year after this year. You can always look toward free agency for another receiver next year. Plus, again, if Yoshi and Chuck Sizzle can take a step forward and become really good receivers, then in theory, we don't need to take a receiver that high this year. Instead, it would be good if we could take some offensive linemen, some defensive linemen, and, really start building up our trenches on offense and defense, right? And I think that's what they're going to be focused on a lot. So let's talk about this guy, Tez Walker. Because, again, if Pro Football Focus thinks we should take him, well, who is this guy? Well, first off, he is a 6'2", 200-pound junior at North Carolina College. As it says right here, he is not a polished product, but at 6'2", 200 pounds, he has the foot speed and vertical ability to put a lot of stress on the defense to cover deep. So he's a field stretcher. In theory, that's what he is. He's a field stretcher. He's the type of guy you get where, he's a big body type of guy, can get down the field, can get open, and can make some plays, and defenses they can't stack the box. They can't put 7 in the box when you have a guy like this out there because, again, he makes you respect him as a player. He's a really good athlete. He's fast, he's tall, he's big. It's hard to stop him. Kind of like Jamar Chase, except Jamar Chase is one of the best receivers in the NFL for, his receiving ability as well and his route running as well. Looks like this guy's not really polished in the route running department, but again, you're kind of getting him as a project to see if you can develop. Now, I will be honest, if we are going to take a receiver in the 3rd round, I don't really want to take a project. I want to take someone who's more developed and someone who can be, an instant starter, especially a 3rd round pick. This is a very deep wide receiver draft class. So again, the more reasons why it would be nice to get someone more developed. Nonetheless, though, taking a look at his analysis, and I'll go ahead and move this over to the right-hand side here. It says in 2023, his route running was not as crisp. He needs more refinement, but we saw that in 2022. And this is technique problems. And again, good wide receiver coach. We have Troy Walters, great guy, knows how to help receivers develop. This shouldn't be much of a problem. This is all technique. 2023 did not show a polished player. Again, 2022 did more. Limited snaps against legitimate competition. He's a small college. That's going to happen. Now, listen, okay? Let's get in, before I give my analysis, let's go in this. Strong contested catch player, hands catcher who understands the importance of extension. Very impressive athlete who has the NFL level explosiveness and top speed. Active hands on the line of scrimmage. Uses both of his hands and feet to effectively get off the press coverage, okay? Here's how I look at these type of things, right? He has all the intangibles to be a great wide receiver, right? He does. He has the speed, he has the size, he has the hands. Things you can't teach a player is what they're born with, right? His athleticism, you can't teach that. You can teach footwork. You can teach, technique. You can teach everything that is wrong with him. The crispiness of his cuts. You can teach all those things. He's going to be sitting behind receivers like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. He's going to be able to learn from these guys on how to become a better wide receiver. I have no problem with taking someone like this in the 5th, the 6th, the 7th round, right? Later on, when you start kind of just taking players for potential and, chances of them being good. I don't know if I love the idea of taking someone like this in the 3rd round. I think the 3rd round, you kind of want to get more or less a starter. Last year, we got Jordan Battle in the 3rd round. Really great safety for us. And I think that's kind of where I'm looking more toward, is if I'm going for a 3rd round pick and a wide receiver position, again, not too much of a fan of the idea, but if it is the case, I'm probably going with someone who's more polished. And again, nothing wrong with Tez Walker at all. He could be a great receiver in the NFL, and I hope he is a great receiver in the NFL, as long as it's not for the teams we hate. But at the end of the day, it's just, no. I'm going to go with a no on this one. Again, like I said, more just polished product-wise. Like Xavier Worthy, he's right in the same exact area as this guy. And again, I'm not saying Xavier Worthy is, that amazingly, he's going to be that amazingly good in the NFL. But, he is fast as well. He has speed as well. He's a speed demon. Jalen here, you got another guy, 6'1", 192. Again, a little bit more polished. So, just personal opinion. If we take a receiver, I'd rather take one later on. There's a lot of upside I feel like we have right now with Yoshi developing to become a better outside receiver. We have, Chuck Sizzle. We're going to start using him in the slot according to sources, even though in theory it's the opposite, because think about it. If we start utilizing, Chuck Sizzle in the slot, but then we just got Mike, who's literally played 70% of his career in the slot as a slot receiver. He's a tight end, but he's a slot receiver tight end. As I'm going to guess that Chuck Sizzle plays like 10% of snaps next year. 10% offensive snaps, because I feel like we're going to try to utilize him week 1, try to get him out there, and then we just go to Mike and use Mike as the slot tight end receiver every single play moving forward. Which, hey, listen, whatever helps us win, whatever helps us benefit in the end, that's all that matters in the end, right? We're trying to win games. We're not trying to do a popularity contest, right? That's just how this works. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one. Peace.